There's a lot going on right now in the housing market, and it seems everywhere you turn, whether it's the news or social media or just chatter among friends, that can quite frankly cause a lot of confusion and question what to believe anymore. Every day we're having conversations with buyers about rising interest rates and if it's still a good time to buy or how much higher these rates can actually go up. And for sellers, it's a different conversation. They're asking if they've missed their shot at getting an over asking price offer and how much higher these prices will eventually rise. But the question everybody is asking is this market slowing down? So today I want to give you my thoughts on where we're headed simply based on what we are seeing in the market to help you make some decisions based upon your personal situation. We're going to talk about rising interest rates, the sudden increase in inventory, and where home prices are headed. And all of that's going to get cranked up right now. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is about living, working, and playing in Charlotte, North Carolina, then hit that subscribe button below and then tap on that bell for notifications so you can be the first to learn about everything that's happening right here in the Charlotte real estate market. My name is Brian Taylor and I'm the owner of Dreamline Realty. My team and I are passionate about helping people make Charlotte their home. And we get calls and emails every single week from people just like you that are looking to make their move to the Queen City or already live here looking for their next house. So whether you're looking to move in 2 weeks or 2 years, we'll be ready to go when the time is right for you. Just give us a call, shoot us a text, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call with us so we can get familiar with your situation, put a face to a name, and help you plan a smooth move to Charlotte. And there's a link in the description below that will take you to our calendar. So lots of things are happening right now in the real estate market, and I want to start with rising interest rates. As you know, interest rates have gone up about 2% since January. Today's 30-year fixed rate sits at 5.5%, up from 3.5% just a few months ago. So naturally, people are asking if this is having an impact on home sales. And the answer is yes, and the answer is no. And I say yes because rising interest rates have ever so slightly started to slow things down. And we're seeing the biggest impact in this range here of $300,000 to $450,000, which is where the first-time home buyers typically hang out. As rising interest rates make housing less affordable, there are now less buyers competing for those properties, and we're starting to see these properties stay on the market just a little bit longer, like 5 to 6 days versus 1 to 2 days a few weeks ago. Now, that doesn't mean that multiple offers and investor cash sales have gone away. We are far from that being a reality, but we are seeing less offers per house. So to keep things in perspective, last year we might have seen 15 offers on a particular property in that price range. Today we're seeing maybe 4 or 5. So that's the kind of thing that I'm referring to. And the reason I say no is because it seems to be once we cross over that $450,000 price range, things are still pretty normal, but at the same time, there is less activity from where things were just 2 months ago. Now, the interest rates for buyers over $450,000 are having less of an impact because these buyers are well qualified and have a larger amount of disposable income, whereas an increased payment of a couple $100s a month doesn't have that much of an impact when it comes to their monthly budget. So, where do I see interest rates going? With inflation being a major concern, the Fed will continue to raise rates, and I think we'll get close to 6% by year end. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that when the Fed raises rates, they are not directly raising mortgage rates. They are raising the Fed funds rate, which is essentially the rate that banks borrow money from each other. So if the Fed raises rates by 0.5 point, that doesn't mean that mortgage rates automatically go up by 0.5 point. Mortgage rates could, and they likely will be impacted in the long term, but it's not a direct one-to-one increase. So moving on, let's talk about the sudden increase in inventory. So over the past couple of weeks, we've seen more inventory come on the market, which is kind of weird to even say that since all we've talked about over the last several years is the inventory shortage. In a recent article by CNBC, it reads, "Home listings suddenly jump as sellers worry they may miss out on the red-hot housing market." And it goes on to say, the supply of homes for sale jumped 9% last week compared with the same week year over year, according to Realtor.com. Now, this data falls in line with what we are seeing locally as well, and this makes a lot of sense. As sellers are hearing that the housing market is softening, I think a lot of sellers are trying to get sold while there's still time to cash in on the highest prices possible. at least in their mind. We'll have to see where inventory levels go after this quick rush to the market kind of goes away, if it goes away. These sellers have this fear, of course, that home prices are going to start going down, which is not the case. And that actually brings me to my next point. So even though we are seeing a slight increase in inventory, we are still in a deep shortage of inventory situation. Currently, we sit at 0.7 months of supply, which means that if nothing else came on the market, it would take roughly 21 days for everything currently listed to sell. And as we've discussed before, a very healthy neutral market is one where we have about 5 or 6 months of supply. So again, we are a very long way from that being a reality, and we don't see anything changing anytime soon. So with that said, until we start moving towards that target, home prices will continue to rise simply based upon supply and demand economics. And remember, there are 120 people a day moving to Charlotte, which makes it a lot harder to bridge that inventory gap. And if we look at an article that came out this morning from the Charlotte Business Journal, it reads, Case-Shiller Home Price Index shows steep increase for Charlotte home prices. And the article talks about the 20 hottest markets in the country, and Charlotte came in at number 8 for highest home price appreciation. It goes on to say that local home prices posted more record growth in the Case-Shiller Index. In February, the annual increase was pegged at 25.5%, and the 26% gain in Charlotte area housing prices in March is nearly double the 13.5% growth recorded in the same month last year. Now keep in mind, this data was through the first quarter. So let's look at what the experts say we're going to see in home price appreciation as we head through 2022. And this chart is provided by Keeping Current Matters, and we have 7 different groups of people that are making this prediction on price appreciation on a national level. As you can see that we have Fannie Mae, National Association of Realtors, and a few others in there. And the average of all 7 forecasts came out to be 9%, right there in the green bar. Now personally in Charlotte, I think we're going to end up being closer to 15%. In fact, April's data from Canopy MLS that just came out show the average sales price in Charlotte sits at $421,353, which was a year-over-year increase of 18.7%. So after digesting all of this information, what does it mean and where do I think things are headed going forward? Quite simply, we are going to see some slowdown due to rising rates, but overall, not a huge impact, in my opinion, whatsoever. I think we're going to see a 6% fixed mortgage rate within the next 8 months. I think we're going to see above average levels of home price appreciation, which means that home prices are going to continue rising, and we'll continue to see a market where inventory remains very tight, which means we're still going to have multiple offers, although not as extreme as we've seen in the past. So if you're a buyer and you are qualified, it makes sense to buy, and you can always refinance your loan when rates come down at some point in the future. Don't miss your opportunity here. And if you're a seller and you think you've missed your opportunity to sell on the high side, there's no rush, my friends. Home prices are going to continue to rise. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to be in the know on what's happening in the Charlotte real estate market, click that subscribe button below now and then tap on that bell for notifications, because I don't want you to miss out on any of the videos that I put out every single week. And if you're interested in some neighborhood tours, check them out on the channel, and you may want to especially check out this one that I recently did with Mattamy Homes in a neighborhood called Cheney. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Make it a great day.